An American woman missing at sea after her husband reports she fell overboard during a boat trip in the Bahamas. The local police force says that Lynette Hooker and her husband Brian left Hopetown by an 8-foot dinghy heading toward Elbow Key on Saturday night. Her husband told police that she fell out of that dinghy with the keys of the boat, of the dinghy, disabling the engine. He says he lost sight of her when she drifted away in the strong rip currents before he was able to paddle to shore to alert authorities at 4 a.m. Former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker worked investigations like this during her time as High Seas Crime Coordinator, and she joins us now. Good morning to you, Nicole.
Good morning.
Good morning. So what do you think happened? If they're in a dinghy and they're heading out to their yacht, because you can't, travel that far in an 8-foot dinghy, and she falls overboard, like he says, why would she have the key with her? Wouldn't the key be in the engine?
Right. I mean, this is a very tragic story, and there will be a full investigation to determine, was this merely an accident or was there any sort of foul play involved? And, you hate to have to say that and put that out there in a time of tragedy, but that's exactly what the investigators are doing. So you ask a very relevant question because she allegedly had the key in her pocket, and when she went overboard, the engine turned off on the boat, and therefore she was left, at sea while her husband had to paddle back to shore. And so the distance was about 2.5 miles from my understanding. And so they probably thought, it's not really that far. But what I do know is that the conditions were very rough and hazardous. And it is so important for you to listen to and heed the warnings. The State Department has specific weather and marine alerts. And on that date of Saturday, April 5th, going into Sunday, April 6th, it was very rough, strong winds, high seas. And so, you think it's just 2.5 miles, but that can be very lethal. But again, there will be a full investigation into this. Although they are U.S. nationals, it was in Bahamian waters. And so the Bahamians have full jurisdiction, and the U.S. will be providing assistance at the request of the host country.
In your opinion, does it sound like an accident? And how can you rule out the husband?
Initially, because I've worked so many of these investigations, and it's very sad to say, but as an investigator, you go in and there, you think, because I have seen incidents where the husband does get rid of the wife, and it's dark and it's tragic and it's horrible. But when I looked further into this without knowing all of the facts and details, it does appear to me that it may be more of an accident. But I think a very key question and element here is, did she have on a life jacket? All of the reports that we're seeing right now say that they do not know if she had a life jacket on. Well, that's a very simple question that you could ask of the husband. And I would also want to ask the husband, did he have a life jacket on? And I know that her daughter is asking for a full investigation. She wants U.S. authorities to be involved. What does the daughter know? And so investigators will be looking closely at the current state of the relationship. What were the communications leading up to the incident? Were there any issues? Were there any financial concerns or matters? But again, they were known to be avid sailors. They had Instagram posts, TikTok, YouTube, and they loved to sail around. They had their yacht. But you should know to always heed alerts and warnings. It can be lethal.
Yeah, a lot of times if you're an experienced boater, you don't put on a life jacket because you do it every day. It's like driving in your car. You should wear your seatbelt, but some people don't, if they're going on a small little distance, especially on a dinghy, just to their larger boat. What about a body? Will her body, if she's not found alive, will her body float to shore? In every instance, does always the body end up being found?
Many instances, the body is not found. And again, you've got to look at the waters, not to alarm anybody, but this is the Bahamas. And, you always have the issue of potential shark. But the strong currents and the waves, they can move your body very, very quickly out to sea. And so, the fact that her body has not yet been discovered, they always start as a search and rescue effort, and then it turns into a lot of times search and recovery. We'll see what happens, but I know that the U.S. Coast Guard Miami sector was out there helping. They've been heavily involved. I have been to the Bahamas with the FBI at times, working with the Assistant Legal Attaché in Nassau. They are the best of the best, and they will provide resources and assets, and that does give me a level of comfort in this. Again, the Bahamians have lead jurisdiction, but the United States is certainly going to be providing and has been providing assistance. The fact that she has not yet been found, we always want to pray for a miracle, but the reality is if a body is not found within, 12 to 24 to 28 hours in those sorts of conditions, it could be bad news.
Well, Nicole, why would they take the keys out?
You know, I thought that myself. I thought that was a very weird thing that she had the key in her pocket. I know that many of us I live in Miami. We go on boats all the time. And if you're on a wave runner, you have it attached to you and it's attached to the device. And then as soon as you go over, it does turn off the machine automatically to, save your life from potentially being hit by the vehicle, the watercraft. That's something that they need to look into closely. But again, there will be a full investigation. The daughter does deserve that. That is what she is asking for. And we will get to the bottom of it. And again, the United States will provide assistance, although we are not the lead and we do not have the main jurisdiction.
Is that his daughter too, Nicole? Really quickly.
It's my understanding that it is her daughter and likely his stepdaughter was my understanding.
Okay. It might have been choppy water. She might have attached the key like we do with a wave runner or a jet ski. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming on. We have more Fox and Friends straight ahead.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.